The crash. The skies above Nova Terra colony blazed with an unnatural light. Colonists paused in their evening routines, necks craned upwards as a fireball streaked across the perpetual twilight of their world. Some muttered prayers, others reached for communicators, but all watched in awe as the object plummeted towards the planet's surface. Miles away, in the desolate northern wastes, Zara Chen stood at the threshold of Outpost 17, her eyes fixed on the horizon. The security officer's hand instinctively moved to the sidearm at her hip as she tracked the object's descent. A plume of dust and debris erupted in the distance as it made impact, the sound reaching her several seconds later, a dull boom that set her teeth on edge. "Control, this is Outpost 17. Zara spoke into her comm unit. "Unknown object just crashed approximately 20 clicks north of my position. Requesting instructions." Static crackled for a moment before a tired voice responded. "Acknowledged Outpost 17. Maintain your post. A team will be dispatched to investigate." Zara frowned, her free hand clenching into a fist. "With all due respect, Control, I'm the closest to the crash site. By the time a team gets out here, any survivors could be dead, or whatever crashed could pose a threat to the colony." There was a long pause before Control replied. "Negative, Outpost 17. You are to maintain your..." Zara switched off the comm unit with a frustrated growl. 6 months she'd been stationed at this godforsaken outpost, monitoring the wastes for any sign of the mysterious raiders that had been plaguing the outer colonies. 6 months of mind-numbing boredom, punctuated by false alarms and dust storms. And now when something actually happened, they wanted her to sit on her hands. "To hell with that," she muttered, grabbing her gear. Within minutes, she was speeding across the barren landscape on her all-terrain vehicle, the crash site growing larger with each passing moment. As she approached, the extent of the devastation became clear. What had seemed like a meteor from a distance was revealed to be the mangled remains of a spacecraft, one unlike any Zara had ever seen. Its sleek, almost organic lines were a far cry from the utilitarian designs of human vessels. This was something entirely alien. Zara brought her vehicle to a stop and dismounted, drawing her weapon. The wreckage smoldered before her, pieces of exotic metal scattered across a wide area. She approached cautiously, her training kicking in as she scanned for any signs of movement or life. "Hello," she called out, immediately feeling foolish. If this truly was an alien craft, its occupants were unlikely to understand English. Still, she pressed on, picking her way through the debris. A faint sound caught her attention, a wet, raspy noise that might have been breathing. Zara moved towards it, her heart pounding in her chest. As she rounded a large section of hull, she froze. There, half buried in the loose soil, lay a creature that could only be described as alien. Its body was vaguely humanoid, but covered in iridescent scales that shifted color even as Zara watched. Multiple limbs, she counted 6, twitched weakly, and a pair of large, multifaceted eyes regarded her with unmistakable intelligence and fear. "Oh my God," Zara breathed, lowering her weapon slightly. The alien's torso was a mess of wounds, a viscous blue fluid seeping from multiple lacerations. It was clearly dying. As if sensing her thoughts, the creature let out a series of clicks and whistles. A small device on what Zara assumed was its wrist flickered to life, and to her astonishment, words in halting English emanated from it. "Help, please, don't, hurt." Zara made a decision in that moment that would change the course of human history. She holstered her weapon and knelt beside the alien, her hands hovering uncertainly over its broken body. "I'm not going to hurt you," she said softly. "I want to help. Can you understand me?" The alien's eyes focused on her, and it managed a weak nod. Zara's mind raced. The creature was too large for her to move on her own, and she couldn't very well take it back to the outpost. But leaving it here to die wasn't an option either. "Okay," she said, more to herself than the alien. "Okay, we can figure this out. First things first, we need to stop this bleeding." As Zara worked to stabilize the alien's wounds with her limited medical supplies, her comm unit crackled to life. Outpost 17, this is Control. We've lost your signal. Report your status immediately. Zara ignored it, focusing on the task at hand. The alien watched her every move, its breathing gradually becoming less labored as she worked. There, she said, finally sitting back on her heels. That's the best I can do for now. We need to get you somewhere safe, somewhere I can treat you properly. The alien's translation device worked to life again. Why? Help? Dangerous. Zara managed a small smile. Because it's the right thing to do, and because I've got about 1,000,000 questions for you once you're feeling better. She stood, surveying the area. In the distance, she could make out the dust cloud of approaching vehicles. The investigation team from the colony, no doubt. Zara knew she had precious little time to act. Listen, she said, turning back to the alien. More humans are coming. I don't know how they'll react to you, but I'm guessing it won't be good. Can you move at all? The creature struggled, managing to lift itself slightly before collapsing back to the ground with a pained chirp. Zara nodded, her mind made up. All right, here's the plan. There's an old mining cave about a half-click from here. I'm going to hide you there, then come back and misdirect the search team. Once they're gone, I'll come back for you. Okay. The alien's eyes blinked in rapid succession, which Zara took as agreement. With a grunt of effort, she managed to half-carry, half-drag the creature to her vehicle. It was an awkward and painful process for both of them, but somehow they managed. As Zara sped towards the cave, the alien clinging weakly to her back, she couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of the situation. Here she was, a lowly outpost guard, making first contact with an alien species and promptly kidnapping it. You know, she said over her shoulder, I don't even know your name. I'm Zara, by the way. The translation device crackled. Vexelka, name, Vexelka. Zara grinned. Well, Vexelka, welcome to Nova Terra. Let's hope we both live long enough to regret this. As they disappeared into the gathering darkness, neither human nor alien noticed the sleek, predatory shapes descending through the upper atmosphere. The hunt had begun. Echoes of trust. The cave's darkness enveloped Zara and Vexelka like a shroud, broken only by the feeble glow of Zara's emergency lantern. The human's breath came in ragged gasps, her muscles screaming from the effort of moving the alien to safety. Vexelka's own labored breathing created an eerie harmony in the confined space. Okay, Zara panted, gently lowering Vexelka onto a makeshift bed of emergency blankets. We should be safe here for now. Those search teams won't venture this far out without good reason. Vexelka's multifaceted eyes blinked in rapid succession, a gesture Zara was beginning to interpret as acknowledgement. The alien's translator crackled to life, its voice sounding weaker than before. Gratitude, but why risk? You're kind, not known for mercy. Zara's lips quirked into a wry smile as she began checking Vexelka's wounds. Yeah, well, maybe it's time we changed that reputation. Hold still, this might sting a bit. As she worked, applying antiseptic and fresh bandages, Zara's mind raced. The enormity of what she'd done, harboring an alien, defying direct orders, was beginning to sink in. But beneath the fear and uncertainty, a spark of excitement burned. This was first contact, real and tangible, not just theories and blurry photographs. So, she said, trying to keep her tone light, what brings you to our little corner of the galaxy? Vacation gone wrong? Vexelka's scales rippled, changing from a dull gray to a deep, pulsating blue. Zara realized with a start that this might be the alien equivalent of laughter. Scout, Vexelka managed, wincing as Zara tightened a bandage. Sent to observe, not meant to interact. Zara nodded, her suspicions confirmed. Well, I'd say that ship has sailed. Literally. She paused, a thought occurring to her. Wait, if you're a scout, does that mean there are more of you out there? The cave seemed to grow colder as Vexelka's scales shifted to a pale, almost translucent shade. Yes, but not friends. Hunters will come, eliminate evidence. Evidence. Zora's hand instinctively moved to her sidearm. You mean us? The Vizslica's head bobbed in a motion unsettlingly close to a human nod. My kind, secretive. Presence must remain hidden. You now know too much. Zora sat back, her mind reeling. She'd known helping Vizslica was risky, but she hadn't anticipated becoming the target of an alien cleansing operation. Great, she muttered. So not only am I harboring an alien, I'm harboring an alien fugitive. To her surprise, Vizslica's translator emitted a sound that could only be described as a chuckle. Irony, I am fugitive to both our kinds now. Despite the gravity of the situation, Zora found herself smiling. There was something oddly comforting about sharing this absurd predicament with someone, even if that someone was a wounded alien scout with a price on their head. Well, she said, standing and dusting off her hands, I guess that makes us partners in crime. Speaking of which, I need to get back to the outpost before they send out a search party for me. Will you be okay here for a few hours? Vizslica's eyes blinked rapidly. Yes. Need, rest, heal. Zora nodded, gathering her gear. All right. I'll bring back more supplies and see what I can find out about any unusual activity in the area. Just try not to die while I'm gone, okay? As she turned to leave, Vizslica's voice stopped her. Zora, thank you. Not all stories of human kindness. Exaggeration. Zora felt a warmth spread through her chest, a feeling of purpose she hadn't experienced in years. Yeah, well, don't spread it around. I've got a reputation to maintain. With a final glance at her unlikely new ally, Zora slipped out of the cave and into the gathering twilight. The twin moons of Novaterra were rising, casting an ethereal glow across the barren landscape. In the distance, she could see the lights of the search teams still combing the crash site. As she made her way back to her vehicle, a flicker of movement caught her eye. She froze, hand on her weapon, eyes straining in the dim light. For a moment, she thought she saw a shape, sleek, predatory, decidedly not human, dart between two rocky outcroppings. But when she blinked, it was gone. Shaking off the eerie feeling, Zora mounted her vehicle and sped towards Outpost 17. She had a lot of explaining to do, and even more planning if they were going to survive what was coming. Back at the outpost, Zora found barely controlled chaos. Teams were being assembled, equipment was being loaded onto vehicles, and the comm channels were buzzing with activity. At the center of it all stood Captain Reyes, his craggy face set in grim lines. Chen, he barked as soon as he saw her. Where the hell have you been? We've got a situation on our hands. Zora snapped to attention, a mind racing to concoct a plausible story. Sir, I was investigating some unusual readings to the east of my post. What's going on? Ray's eyes narrowed, but he seemed to accept her explanation. We've got confirmation of non-terrestrial technology at the crash site, and now we're picking up multiple bogies entering the atmosphere. Whatever that thing was, it brought friends. Zora's blood ran cold. Vizslica's warning echoed in her mind. The hunters were here. Orders, sir, she managed, fighting to keep her voice steady. We're evacuating all non-essential personnel to the main colony. The rest of us are going to set up a defensive perimeter. I want you on overwatch, Chen. Your marksmanship scores are still the best in the outfit. Zora nodded, her thoughts racing. She needed to warn Vizslica, needed to figure out a way to protect both the alien and her fellow humans. But how? As she gathered her gear, a plan began to form in her mind. It was risky, borderline suicidal even, but it might just work. She'd need Vizslica's help and a whole lot of luck. Hey, Captain, she called out, making a split-second decision. I think I might know a place where we can get an advantage. An old mining complex to the north. High ground, good visibility. Reyes considered for a moment, then nodded. Good thinking, Chen. Take a squad and set up there. We'll coordinate from the ground. Zora saluted, her heart pounding. As she led her team out into the darkening landscape, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was setting in motion events that would change not just her life, but the course of human history. In the cave, Vexolka stirred, its senses picking up vibrations that no human could detect. The hunters were near, and they were hungry for blood, alien and human alike. The stage was set for a confrontation that would echo across the stars. Humanity's first true test against an advanced alien species was about to begin, and the fate of two civilizations rested in the hands of an unlikely pair of fugitives. As Zara's vehicle disappeared into the night, a pair of inhuman eyes watched from the shadows. The hunt was on, and Nova Terra was about to become a battleground where the future of interstellar relations would be decided. Little did either side know, the true enemy was yet to reveal itself, an ancient force awakened by the disturbance, one that would force human and alien alike to confront their deepest fears and prejudices if they hoped to survive. Shadows of revelation. The twin moons of Novaterra cast long, distorted shadows across the barren landscape as Zara's squad approached the abandoned mining complex. The air was thick with tension, each soldier hyper-aware of the alien threat looming somewhere above them. "Fan out and secure the perimeter," Zara ordered, her voice steady despite the turmoil in her gut. "Gomez, I want you on that communications array. See if you can boost our signal strength." As her team moved into position, Zara allowed herself a moment of doubt. Was she really going to risk everything? Her career, her life, possibly the fate of humanity, on an alien she just met? The weight of her decision pressed down on her like a physical force. A flicker of movement caught her eye, and Zara's hand flew to her weapon. There, at the edge of the floodlight's reach, stood a figure that defied description. It was tall, easily 7 feet, with a body that seemed to shimmer and shift like oil on water. Multiple limbs ended in wickedly curved claws, and a head adorned with sensor arrays swiveled towards her. "Contact," Zara shouted, diving for cover as energy bolts sizzled through the air where she'd been standing. "We're under attack." The night erupted into chaos. The alien hunters moved with terrifying speed and precision, their advanced weaponry making short work of the human defenses. Zara's squad fought bravely, but they were outmatched and outgunned. As she returned fire, her mind raced. This wasn't just an attack, it was an extermination. The hunters weren't interested in conquest or resources. They were here to erase all evidence of their existence, human and Vexolka alike. "Fall back to the central hub," Zara commanded, providing cover and fire as her remaining teammates retreated. The mining complex's main building loomed before them, a bastion of rusted metal and fading hope. Just as they reached the entrance, a massive explosion rocked the ground. Zara turned to see their vehicles engulfed in flames, cutting off any chance of escape. They were trapped. "Gomez, what's our comm situation?" Zara asked as they barricaded the doors. The young soldier shook his head, fear evident in his eyes. "No good, Sergeant. They're jamming all frequencies. We're on our own." Zara nodded grimly. "All right, people. We hold this position as long as we can. With any luck, the main colony will send reinforcements when they lose contact." But even as she said it, Zara knew it was a lie. Help wasn't coming. That only hope lay in the wounded alien she'd left hidden in a cave, and the desperate plan forming in her mind. As if summoned by her thoughts, a familiar series of clicks and whistles echoed through the room. Zara spun to see Vexolka emerge from a shadowy corner, its scales shifting to match the metallic walls. What they Gomes raised his weapon, but Zara quickly intervened. "Stand down," she ordered. It's friendly." Her squad looked at her in disbelief as Velka's translator crackled to life. "Hunters here, must act quickly." Zara made a split-second decision. "Listen up," she addressed her team. "I know this is going to sound insane, but this alien is on our side. Those things out there, they're here to wipe us all out, human and alien alike. Our only chance is to work together." For a tense moment, Zara thought her squad might mutiny. But then Rodriguez, her second-in-command, stepped forward. "With all due respect, Sarge, you've never steered us wrong before. If you say this thing is our ally, then I'm with you." The others nodded their agreement, but their expressions remained wary. Zara felt a surge of pride and gratitude for her team. "Okay," she said, turning to Vexulka. "What can you tell us about these hunters? How do we stop them?" Vexulka's scales rippled, displaying a dizzying array of colors as it spoke. Hunters relentless, engineered for pursuit and elimination, but not infallible. Weakness in sensory arrays. Overload, possible. Zara's mind raced, connecting the dots. "The mining equipment," she muttered. "Gomez, what kind of power output can we get from the old generators?" The young soldier's eyes widened as he caught on. "If we reroute everything, bypass the safeties, we could create one hell of an electromagnetic pulse. Enough to overload their sensors." Zara asked Vexulka. The alien's eyes blinked rapidly. "Yes, but dangerous. Radius unknown. May affect human technology as well." Zara nodded grimly. "It's a risk we'll have to take. Gomes, Rodriguez, get to work on those generators. The rest of you, buy us some time." As her team sprang into action, Zara turned back to Vexulka. "There's more, isn't there? Something you're not telling us about why you're here." Vexulka's scales shifted to a deep, somber blue. "Yes, my mission, not just observation. Sort, alliance. My kind divided. Some wish for peace, cooperation. Others fear change, cling to isolation." Zara's breath caught in her throat. "You're saying this could be first contact, official contact between our species?" "If we survive," Vexulka replied, "choice will be made here. Today." The weight of this revelation settled over Zara like a physical force. They weren't just fighting for their lives, they were fighting for the future of interstellar relations. A thunderous boom shook the building, reminding them of the immediate danger. The hunters were breaching their defenses. "Sarge," Gomes called out, "we're ready, but we've got a problem. Someone needs to manually trigger the pulse from the main control room. There's no guarantee they'd survive the blast." Zara met Vexulka's multifaceted eyes, an unspoken understanding passing between them. "I'll do it," she said firmly. "No," Vexulka interrupted, its translator struggling to convey the emotion in its voice. "My people, my responsibility." Before Zara could argue, the alien moved with surprising speed towards the control room. "Wait," she called out. "There's got to be another way." Vexulka paused at the threshold, its scales shimmering with a kaleidoscope of colors. "Thank you, Zara Chen. You have shown me the best of humanity. Now, I show you the best of my kind." With that, Vexulka disappeared into the control room. Moments later, the air itself seemed to vibrate with unseen energy. Zara and her team braced themselves as a blinding flash of light erupted from the heart of the complex. The pulse rippled outward, and for a moment, the world went silent. Then, chaos erupted anew. The hunters' inhuman shrieks filled the air as their sensory systems overloaded. Zara and her team, their own equipment fried, but their resolve unshaken, emerged to find the alien invaders in disarray. As the dust settled and the last of the hunters fell, Zara made her way to the control room. There, amidst the smoking ruins of the generator, lay Vexulka. The alien's scales were dull and lifeless, but its eyes still held a spark of awareness. Zara knelt beside her unlikely friend, tears stinging her eyes. "You did it," she whispered. "You saved us all." Vexulka's translator sputtered to life one last time. "No, we did. Together. Remember, this day. Beginning of something beautiful." As Vexulka's eyes closed for the final time, a new light appeared in the sky. Reinforcements had finally arrived, not just from the human colony, but from above. A massive ship, its design a harmony of alien and human aesthetics, descended through the atmosphere. Zara stood, her heart heavy with loss but burning with hope. The future she and Vexelka had fought for was about to begin. As she stepped forward to greet this new chapter in human history, she silently vowed to honor her friend's sacrifice by building the bridge between their two species. The dawn broke over Nova Terra, painting the sky in hues of hope and possibility. Humanity had faced its trial by fire and emerged not just victorious, but enlightened. The road ahead would be challenging, filled with cultural clashes and mutual misunderstandings, but the foundation had been laid for a future of cooperation and shared discovery. As Zara watched the alien ship land, she couldn't help but smile. Vexelka's last words echoed in her mind. This was indeed the beginning of something beautiful, a testament to the power of trust, sacrifice, and the unbreakable bonds that can form even across the vast gulfs of space. The story of Nova Terra would be told and retold across the stars, a shining example of what could be achieved when two species chose understanding over fear, cooperation over conflict. And at the heart of that story would always be an unlikely pair of friends, a human outpost guard and a wounded alien scout who dared to dream of a better future for all. Echoes of eternity. The alien ship's landing sent tremors through the battle-scarred earth of Nova Terra, its massive form dwarfing the human structures nearby. Zara stood at the forefront of the gathered survivors, her uniform tattered and seamed, but her stance unwavering. As the ship's entry ramp descended, bathing the area in an otherworldly blue light, she felt the weight of history pressing down upon her shoulders. A hush fell over the assembled humans as a delegation of aliens emerged. Their forms were similar to Vexelka's, but each unique in their coloration and the intricate patterns that shimmered across their scales. At their head strode a being of unmistakable authority, its body adorned with bioluminescent markings that pulsed with an ethereal rhythm. The alien leader's gaze swept over the scene, taking in the destruction, the wary humans, and finally settling on Zara. Its multifaceted eyes seemed to peer into her very soul. "I am Skavora." The alien's voice resonated through an advanced translator, rich with harmonics that no human voice could produce. "High Emissary of the Caliph Conclave, we come seeking answers and offering apologies." Zara stepped forward, her voice steady despite the turmoil of emotions within her. "I'm Sergeant Zara Chen of Nova Terra Colony. We've got a lot to talk about, Emissary." As Zara recounted the events that had transpired, from Vexelka's crash to the final, desperate battle against the Hunters, she watched a myriad of emotions play across the alien delegates' features. Shock, sorrow, and something akin to shame rippled through their ranks. The actions of the Hunters were not sanctioned, Skavora explained, its scales shifting to a deep, mournful blue. They were zealots, clinging to old fears and prejudices. Vexelka's mission was one of peace, a first step towards open contact with humanity. We never imagined it would end like this." Zara's fists clenched at her sides. "Vexelka died saving us, saving all of us, human and Vtleth alike. Their sacrifice can't be in vain." Skavora's eyes blinked rapidly, a gesture Zara now recognized as deep emotion. "Indeed, it shall not be. Sergeant Chen, in honor of Vexelka's sacrifice and your own people's bravery, I propose we forge a new path together. Not as separate species, but as allies united in our shared desire for understanding and progress." As Skavora spoke, a shimmering holographic display sprang to life between them. It showed a vast space station, its design a breathtaking fusion of human and Caliph architecture. "We offer this," Skavora continued, "a joint endeavor. A place where our peoples can come together, learn from one another, and build a future that transcends the boundaries of our individual worlds." Zara's breath caught in her throat. The implications were staggering. This wasn't just first contact, it was an invitation to join a galactic community. "It's not a decision I can make alone," Zara said carefully. "Our leaders will need to be consulted, but speaking for myself and those who fought alongside Vexelka, we're ready for this. We've seen what we can accomplish together." Skavora's scales shimmered with approval. "Of course, we anticipated as much. That is why we bring a gift, a gesture of our commitment to this new alliance. At a signal from the High Emissary, a group of Kaleth scientists emerged from the ship, carrying a large cylindrical container. As they set it down and activated its controls, Zara gasped. Inside, suspended in a shimmering field of energy, was Vexelka. The alien scout's body was whole, unmarred by the wounds of battle, its scales pulsing faintly with life. How? Zara breathed, unable to tear her eyes away from the miraculous sight. Our medical technology is considerably advanced, Skavora explained. Vexelka's neural patterns were preserved in the final moments before death. We've been able to reconstruct their body and are in the process of reintegrating their consciousness. They will live again, a bridge between our peoples. Tears welled in Zara's eyes as she placed a hand on the container. "Welcome back, friend," she whispered. As news of these events spread across Nova Terra and beyond, the response was electric. Humanity, long divided by petty conflicts and short-sighted goals, found itself united in the face of this new frontier. The promise of advanced technology, interstellar travel, and the sheer wonder of alien life captured the imagination of billions. In the months that followed, Zara found herself at the center of a whirlwind of diplomacy, scientific exchange, and cultural exploration. She worked tirelessly alongside Vexelka, now fully recovered and more determined than ever to foster understanding between their species. The joint space station, christened Harmony, became a symbol of interspecies cooperation. Human scientists worked side by side with Feleth researchers, unlocking secrets of the universe that neither could have discovered alone. Artists from both worlds collaborated on pieces that defied traditional categorization, creating new forms of expression that resonated across the stars. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Cultural misunderstandings led to tense moments. Some humans feared the rapid changes, while some Feleth clung to isolationist ideologies. Zara and Vexelka found themselves not just explorers of the cosmos, but mediators, educators, and symbols of what could be achieved through trust and perseverance. As Harmony neared completion, Zara stood in its central observatory, gazing out at the star-studded expanse. Vexelka joined her, its scales shimmering with contentment. "Did you ever imagine it would turn out like this?" Zara asked, her voice filled with wonder. Vexelka's translator hummed with amusement. "In my wildest dreams, perhaps, but reality has proven far more fascinating." Zara nodded, a smile playing on her lips. "We've come so far, but this is just the beginning, isn't it? There's so much more out there to discover." "Indeed," Vexelka agreed, "and we shall face it as we have everything else, together." As they stood there, human and alien united in friendship and purpose, a brilliant light streaked across the cosmos. A new star was born, its radiance a testament to the limitless possibilities that lay ahead. The story of Nova Terra, of Zara and Vexelka, became legend, a beacon of hope for future generations. It served as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, compassion and understanding could light the way forward. And as humanity took its first true steps into the galactic community, it did so not with fear or aggression, but with open minds and hearts, ready to embrace the infinite diversity of the universe. The echoes of that fateful day on Nova Terra would resonate through eternity, a harmony of two species that dared to dream of a shared destiny among the stars. Cosmic Crucible. The gleaming spires of Harmony Station pierced the inky blackness of space, a testament to the remarkable alliance forged between humanity and the Kaleth. 5 years had passed since that fateful day on Nova Terra, and the joint venture had become a shining beacon of interspecies cooperation. Zara Chen, now Ambassador Chen, stood before the station's Grand Council chamber, her heart racing. The room was filled with an eclectic mix of humans and Kaleth, their attention focused on the holographic display at the center of the room. "Ladies, gentlemen, and esteemed Kaleth," Zara began, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "What you're about to see will change everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe." With a gesture, she activated the hologram. A swirling mass of energy erupted into view, its colors shifting in ways that defied description. 3 days ago, our long-range sensors detected this anomaly at the edge of charted space. We believe it to be a tear in the fabric of space-time itself, a gateway to somewhere else. Murmurs of excitement and concern rippled through the audience. Vivek Sulka, now Chief Science Officer of Harmony, stepped forward to join Zara. Initial scans indicate the anomaly is stable and growing, Vuksulka's translator conveyed. We've detected signals emanating from within, patterns too complex to be natural phenomena. Zara took a deep breath before delivering the bombshell. We believe we're receiving a message. From the other side. The chamber erupted into chaos. Questions flew from all directions, theories were proposed and debated on the spot. Zara raised her hands for silence. I know this is overwhelming, she said, but we've prepared for this. The Harmony expedition is ready. A joint team of human and Caliph explorers will embark tomorrow to investigate the anomaly up close. As the council debated the risks and potential rewards of such a mission, Zara's mind wandered to the ship waiting in the docking bay. The HSS Novaterra, named in honor of where it all began, was a marvel of joint engineering. It represented the best of both species, human ingenuity and Caliph biotechnology seamlessly merged. Hours later, as Zara made final preparations in her quarters, a familiar series of clicks and whistles announced Vuksulka's arrival. Having second thoughts, the alien asked, its scales shimmering with concern. Zara smiled, shaking her head. No, just reflecting. 5 years ago, I was a lonely outpost guard on a forgotten planet. Now we're about to embark on a journey that could redefine our understanding of reality itself. Vuksulka's eyes blinked rapidly, a gesture Zara now knew indicated deep emotion. We have come far, friend Zara, but I sense this is only the beginning. As they made their way to the Novaterra, crew members of both species saluted. The ship's sleek hull gleamed under the station's lights, its biomechanical systems humming with anticipation. Captain Miguel Reyes, a grizzled veteran of the First Contact Wars, greeted them at the airlock. Ambassador, Chief Science Officer, he nodded. We're ready when you are. The journey to the anomaly was tense. Every crew member felt the weight of history on their shoulders. As they approached, the tear in space-time loomed before them, a swirling maelstrom of impossible colors and shifting geometries. My God, Reyes breathed. It's beautiful. Zara nodded, her eyes fixed on the phenomenon. The Vuksulka, are you receiving anything? The alien's appendages danced over the bio-interface console. Yes, a signal. Complex. Multidimensional. It's Zara. I believe it's an invitation. Before anyone could respond, the anomaly pulsed. Tendrils of energy lashed out, enveloping the Novaterra. Alarms blared as the ship's systems went haywire. Brace for impact. Reyes shouted, but his voice seemed distant, distorted. Zara felt a sensation of stretching, as if her very atoms were being pulled apart and reassembled. The world around her dissolved into a kaleidoscope of fractals and impossible geometries. When reality reasserted itself, the crew found themselves in a vast chamber that defied Euclidean geometry. Surfaces shifted and morphed, colors existed that had no name in any human or Caliph language. And before them stood beings. Not human, not Caliph, not anything they had words to describe. They seemed to exist in more dimensions than Zara could perceive, their forms constantly shifting and redefining themselves. One of the entities stepped forward, or perhaps it was more accurate to say it reconfigured itself to be closer. When it spoke, the words bypassed their ears and formed directly in their minds. We are COM. Children of dust and starlight, it said, its mental voice resonating with cosmic power. We are TAHR Shitectius. We HAVEWATCHED your alliance with great interiorist. Zara swallowed hard, forcing herself to step forward. We were honored, she managed. Why have you brought us here? The being's form shimmered, and Zara had the distinct impression it was amused. To of you a choice. Your alliance HASPUROVN that at different species can coexist, can thrive together. You stand at ACROSHSROADS. Images flooded Zara's mind, visions of humanity and the Phaleth spreading across the galaxy, of countless new alien races encountered and befriended. She saw great cities spanning entire solar systems, saw the combined knowledge of 1,000 species unraveling the deepest mysteries of the cosmos. But she also saw darker possibilities, wars on a scale that dwarfed imagination, entire civilizations falling to fear and mistrust, the very fabric of space-eating crumbling under the weight of unchecked ambition. The failure to shape the future of HFY is within your grasp, the architect continued. But with it comes great responsibility. Are you ready to take your place among the cosmic architects? Zara looked at Vexelka, saw the same mix of awe and determination in her friend's multifaceted eyes. She thought of the long journey that had brought them here, from a chance encounter on a desolate planet to the cusp of cosmic ascendance. With a deep breath, Zara stepped forward, Vexelka at her side. We are ready, she said, her voice steadier than she felt. Not just as humans, not just as Vileth, but as united children of the cosmos. Whatever challenges lie ahead, we'll face them together. The chamber filled with a light that transcended mortal understanding. As it enveloped them, Zara felt a profound sense of transformation beginning. The adventure that had started on Nova Terra was entering a new chapter, one that would reshape the very stars themselves. In that moment, as two species stood united before the cosmic architects, the true potential of their alliance was realized. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what wonders and what challenges this new era would bring. The story of Zara and Vexelka, of humanity and of Phaleth, had become more than legend. It had become the opening chapter in a cosmic epic, a tale of unity, discovery, and the boundless potential of life itself. As the light of transformation washed over them, Zara's final thought was one of profound gratitude for the friend at her side, for the journey that had brought them here, and for the infinite possibilities that lay ahead in the vast, wondrous tapestry of the cosmos.